Log up for Majesty's locomotive of the Orphan, March 14th, 1905. Our expedition to the domains of the dead has been eventful. The Orphan is damaged and grievous needs of repairs and supplies. We are returning in haste to the Reach, where I hope to make port in New Winchester. May God be with us, for 1,000 deaths wait in the sky. Final entry of Captain Amelia, Charity Whitlock, DCM, written shortly before death. Yes, got it. Last time I didn't get it. Sweet. Bill Better Games presents Steampunk Overload. This is, okay, that's that. We'll figure it out eventually. I do not have a gun yet, which sucks. Or a scout, apparently. Journey back from the Blue Kingdom was tumultuous. Your locomotive is damaged and Captain Whitlock is barely wounded. Sorry, badly wounded, not barely wounded. She gonna die. Not DEI, I swear. That's first officer, the look crew to you. The crew look to you. The nearest station is New Winchester. Can't get the orphan there safely? No. Nope. No, we're gonna run out of supplies. Or not. Much to the relief of your stokers, you find a barrel of fuel among the... I don't know what that is. Hold up, let me get off that. The rector's here, less fortunate even than you, which is scavenger for repairs, a crewman suggests, yes. Wreck hangs in the sky, pocket with freezing gunfire. You are in the boarding party, don your sky suits, garments of wax canvas, lined with felt to protect us against the cold of the sky. Two of the crew are whispering as they dress. What kind of business did Captain Whitlock have in the Blue Kingdom anyways? Why the devil did we trespass in the districts of the dead? You silence him. Now's not the time. Leap across the gap. The gap between the two engines isn't wide, but the endless fathoms of heavens gape beneath it. Basically, you fall, you die. You jump, leading the way. You jump, your stomach lurks with vertigo as the stars blaze above you and below. The airs of heaven is thin and torn by unpredictable winds. Your boots hit the running board of the Osmodeus, and your leather gloves hands fumble for a hold. One of your companions throws you a line, and you lash the two engines together. Then the rest of the boarding party follow you. One of them forces open the exterior hatch, and you clamber inside. I just wanted to say, why the fuck are you as the first officer going over first? Like, you would be one of the less expendable ones. Here's another one. Her interior is cold, unlit, and whistles with wind. Your party's lamps spread butterfly light all over the narrow parallel paneled passages to make your way towards the hold, stepping over bodies crumpled in the corridor. Unfortunately, your way is blocked. The bulkhead has been mangled inward in it by a well-armed barrage. That is a well-armed barrage, huh? Look at the length of the pipe and use it as a crowbar, because I'm going to force that fucker open. A memory. As you strain against the stubborn steel, you remember an event from a year ago. A boiler explosion had trapped an engineer under a tangle of plating and pipework. The captain was first on the scene, you were second. Together you managed to pry the wreckage upwards enough for you to crawl beneath it while the captain braced the bar across her back. By all means, take your time, she grunted as you drag the engineer out. Back in the present, the twisted bulkhead yields. Your companions clearly exposed rubble way. The way is clear. Oh, what the fuck? You have reached the Asmodeus' hold, a ruin, the smashed cargo, and spilled supplies. Hopefully somewhere amidst the detritus, I don't know what that means, you can find parts to repair the orphan and restock your stores. They conduct a thorough search. Your companions work quickly. The Osmodeus' hull has begun to creak. Your actions on board may have compromised its integrity. Yeah, I can see that. Renewed. You find enough food and gear to restock your supplies and enough spare parts to make necessary repairs to the orphan. The food will need to be thoroughly thawed, of course, but you've eaten worse in the skies. Oh ho, cries one of your party, prying the lid off a long crate. It holds a cannon, still nestled in straw. Another crewman pulls a battered birdcage from a pile of ruined cargo. Within the cage, something winged and furrowed opens its sullen eye. You examine your funds. Jerusalem cannon. Her own weapons were damaged back during your Ooh. There's more lore here. Sorry, the Asmodeus I also gained hull and supplies, but the Asmodeus amidst a long juddering creek. Your boarding party exchanged nervous glances. From the chaos of its hold, you have retrieved repairs and supplies and discover some of the useful equipment, a gun that can be mounted on your locomotive, and an educated bat. So bats are used as scouts, essentially. That's just how it works in this universe. Sorry, her own weapons were damaged during your flight from the Blue Kingdom. I like how it doesn't say fight, because you guys didn't fight shit. No, but fucking Jerusalem. It leaves you vulnerable. And the heavens are wide, so locomotives use scouts like bats to locate things of interest, ports, resources, wrecks like this one to scavenge. The Cotterell and Hathor State Jerusalem fire single shells to good range, more or less accurately. You order 2 of your party to get it back to your vessel and fit it immediately. The Osmonius runs again, the structure shuttles spasmodically, so we need to get out of here soon. Alright, let's liberate this fucking bat, too. That treats its rescue as an inconvenience. You immediately begin haggling over pay. You offer to put it back in its damn cage and leave it on Asmodeus, at which point it becomes more polite. You doubt it less. You might find more fuel there, but you better hurry. Fuck it. Let's press on a bit. Wreckage Asmodeus screeches as metal buckles and tears. You press on through the shuttered corridors, searching frantically for the engine room. In the smaller party ahead to retrieve fuel, it's foolish for all of you to go send your quickest and latest to retrieve fuel. I almost fucking clicked that. Well, the rest of you return to the orphan skill, Elton's hearts, and go yourself and conduct a hasty search. There's the rest of the boarding party back to the orphan and go on alone. I don't think I'll die either way. I'll probably get a wound if I know myself, but let's do that. I'm not gonna risk someone else's life, not yet. In the nick of time, the wreck's engines are choked with old ash. You search swiftly, aware every creak in the bulkhead, every tremble that runs through the locomotive. Finding several stacks of coal, you drag them to an exterior hatch and fling them across the orphan before leaping after them. Unshackling your locomotive from the Asmodeus, you struck your engine in the street, steam away, restocked, refueled, repaired, and rearmed. It actually... Okay. I don't need the advice, I've already played it before. I'm just doing this for you guys to catch up. Oh. The walls of the captain's cabin are lined with hodgepodge of curios from the skies. Captain Whitlock lies in a bed. Black marks cover her skin like a monstrous brand when she coughs. Coils of acrid smoke pours from her lungs. Locomotive doctor attends her. Her lips are tight. The Wren. The word of the living fire pursued the orphan across the Blue Kingdom. It caught you just before you passed through the transit, relayed to the reach, and set its brand upon the captain. It's burned itself right through her, the doctor whispers. When I closed the worst of her wounds, I could see the sign is seared into her bones and her organs. Judging by her symptoms, it's on the inside of her lungs, too. Oh. The captain leans over to one side and vomits a plume of fire into a copper bowl. There's nothing the doctor can do. It sounds about right. There's a lot of things that'll kill you out here that there's nothing you can do about. Approach the bedside. The captain limps her eyes as you draw near. She attempts to smile. Her mouth is blistered from the blue fires that dance on her tongue. Her hand grips your arm. Her skin is hot as a kettle. Made arrangements. The orphan will be yours. Her voice is just a rasa burn meat breath. Ugh. A promise. She bucks off to scream in a word of language that was not made for human mouths. When she resumes speaking English, she's weaker. Her request is a little more than a gasp. Probably correspondent. Promise me one last service. Promise. I can obey her last command. I can make no promise and tell her the rest. I can pull away. Command to know. Why the fuck did you take us there? She laughs to sound like wood snapping on the fire. Ash sprays from her mouth. It was worth it, she swears. Her voice suddenly firm, her eyes hard and bright. Yet correspondence. Then she sinks back in the scorched pillow in a twist and frantic fever. Walls of the cabin are light. Yeah, okay. I just have to take my leave. Other business. You leave the cavern in the scorched stink of the air behind you. Return to the bridge. New Winchester is further than you like, and the captain hasn't gone long. Oh, okay, he's gonna fucking... I have very, very, very light, I have it where it will very gently arc towards them. I usually don't use that, but I haven't played in a while. That's way easier. It's not much, but it's a little bit. The Reach Marauder is defeated. You prepare the board, the buckled vessel, poised with the plunder. The plunder is behind you. Someone is humming a song of victory. Yep. Raid the remains. Marauders pillage homesteads and hunt travelers all across the Reach. They often carry stolen valuables. Ill-gotten gains. Your board party returns with wallets and watches, cufflinks, lockets, and keepsakes. You store them in the safe to be pawned off if you make it back to port. Yeah, it's true. It really is an if, huh? Alright, we gotta go. I always forget it's not E. We gotta make it back to New Winchester. Should be... Yeah, it's right here. Now the light... Let's discover stuff better. Welcome to Winchester. Accustomed to the bustle, the din, the soot, and the steam of Wolseley Station is clogged with other engines, the scrappy mining locomotives from Lustrum Way, whether the explorers gleam with Frosty company vessels with bright brass fittings. No sooner than you pulled into the sign than a brusque station master bustles you over. You request to come aboard. I must speak to your captain. He insists brandishing a ledger. The usual format of the ladies. Look to the orphan's doctor. He has just appeared at his shoulder. His face is solemn. His hat is in his hand. He lowers his eyes. The past and the crew exchange bleak, wordless looks. The orphan itself feels suddenly more empty. The station master looks confused. You inform him that unfortunately, Count Whitlock has just passed away. Ah, he says, neutrally. Sorry to hear that. Very sad, very sad. He waits for what he considers an appropriate minute and a half before continuing. Always gets me, man. Alas, even amidst the tragedy of Cog's bureaucracy must turn. If Captain Whitlock is deceased, the Satan's authority require their answers from the first officer. He dons a set of spectacles and locates his pen. It will be relatively painless. What the fuck? Name, background, purpose of visit, etc. Shall we begin? Alright, what do I want to make my captain this time? I can be a straight urchin. No parents, no laws, no masters, but there's no roof over your head, no money, and no dinner. Freedom comes at a price. I do love freedom. A soldier, yours was not the reason why yours was to do or die. A poet, the pen, the ink, the blank monstrous page. An academic, a student of the sciences, the arts of philosophy. A priest, the hymns, the hymnals, Sundays, and sermons. A sailor, you rode the mournful, merciless waters of the Untersee. A ministry auditor, for a time you served in the Ministry of Public Decency, which has become Her Majesty's preferred instrument. Or a revolutionary, the world is broken one way for the rich, another for the poor. You decide to do something about it. Ooh. I usually go irons when I make... You know what? I like freedom. You raced barefoot across chimneyed roofs. You stole wigs, wallets, and purses. You made offerings to forgotten gods. The urchins of old London organized in the games. Which did you belong to? The Knotted Sock, a close-knit band that occupied a haunted rookery in the worst parts of the city. The Fisher Kings. Ooh, yeah, that's a tieback, huh? Every Fisher King bears an old wound. Every Fisher King talks to the wind. Every Fisher King knows things that they should not know. It's true, too. The regiment, the most militaristic of the gangs, in their blue jackets and bright buttons, you attain the rank of corporal. No, I'm normally a hearts kind of guy, but let's go this time. And ambition. Choose an ambition. What does winning mean to you? Wealth. You want a comfortable retirement, and by comfortable, you mean extravagant. Many have made their fortunes out among the stars. Many more have failed, broken, and lost in the drift of night. Will you be different? The wing gathers substantial retirement fund, acquire lodges at the hub port, and retire. So basically, I need to buy properties and shit, and have money. Fame. You will immortalize your exploits in the song of the sky. For centuries, people have launched themselves into the unknown in the hopes of making a name for themselves. You're sure you'll succeed? After all, you've never heard of anyone who didn't. Gather stories of your exploits and write about them in New Winchester. So this one requires money and property. This one requires like a bunch of story items that I need to jam pack to win in the truth. Even the stars have secrets, but they won't keep them from you. A message from an old friend begins an unwise quest to learn a secret that the stars hide. What drives you? Curiosity? Justice? Insolence? Wherever it is, it will be tested. Be warned, this is demand and ambition, best played by a lineage that has already completed wealth or fame. Yeah. Well, the other game, C's had something like this too, except it wasn't, you couldn't pick it right from the start. Oh, I like that. Brother. I like that. You're looking out. That almost looks like I've got sunglasses on, man. Oh, shit. I like it, I like it. I kind of like that, though. That's nice. I was a corporal. Alright. I was a street urchin of the regiment. I'm going for wealth. I'm Gildard, and I sneak and I beat people. That's it. 3 weeks have passed. This morning, Captain Whitlock received a simple memorial service. Her body was consigned into a necropolis train before bound for the Serene Mausoleum. That's in Albion. Now you sit with a handful of her relatives in the threadbare offices of her solicitors. A methodical notary is reading the will. I don't know what notary is. I guess that's a legal thing. The cat was wealthy once, but squandered capital on mysterious expenses before her expedition to the Blue Kingdom, which she said it was worth it, so, maybe it was. Listen to the end. The captain's relatives, from whom she was mostly estranged, are clearly wondering why you're here. And true their word. In a final codicil, the notary announced to Captain Whitlock of confirmed that possession of the orphan was to pass to its first officer. It peers at you with dry, gray eyes. This includes a certain black box contained in the orphan's hull. Captain Whitlock's final request was that at the time of your choosing, my choosing, you transport said box to an address in London. He hands you an address card, deposit in there, and not to look inside. She gave no explanation. That's it. You're captain now. The orphan is yours. So I can take it to London, I can sell it and be done with it. And I think I can take it to Euphoria, too. I can take it to a few other places. No, that's... Alright. We're pretty much good. Oh? What is this? Of course, the memorial of the unknown rat. One by one, your crew remove their hats. Mein Gott. It's beautiful. Ooh, the inscriptions of the memorial of the unknown rat is dedicated to those brave Ratus Faber who gave their lives in the early exodus of London. So, they're basically like little rat people. And in the other games, they were like workers. They would like repair stuff, like engineers, workers, and like little tiny rat soldiers. They would like repair stuff. They'd have like little guns and crap, but they're literally the size of a rat. Just imagine an army of little fucking rats just coming after you. Where are we? My God, where are we? Wreck gleams of frost, its windows are dark with an engine. Silent, perhaps something of value lies within. Enter through the young and tear in the hole, mourn dead, or turn away. 50-50? Fuck it. I failed. That sucks. You climb through the hole, your lens reveal uncanny marks around it, where they caused by ricocheting shrapnel or vast teeth. Your boarding party searches unsurprisingly hurried. They retrieve only handfuls of valuable for the hull's groans encourage them to return to your vessel. Not all of them make it. The wreck buckles with a shriek that might have issued from the throat of hell and spins around. Gain terror, sovereigns, a tale of terror. I lost 2 crew? Oh man. Oh shit. Okay, we gotta get out of here. This area is not a good area to be in anyways. To be honest. Some nice tunes in the background too. That's a marauder, I think. A homestead. Settlers who live so far beyond the edge of civilization relish the hardships of solitude. They will fiercely defend your small territories, but occasionally welcome company to trade. This homestead is almost hidden beneath the ground of wild sprouting foliage as if it were a victim of a fairy tale curse. The flora of the reach is difficult to tame, and the settlers that dwell here are struggling. Oh, I can't do anything, so I guess... Hey, oh. That's gonna suck. I guess you'll just have to explain it through the gameplay, I guess. That's really easy, the best way. Another wreck, signal it. Oh, we're fucked. Whoa. A Raven recruit, your signaler fetches their signal lamp and flashes a patient message in the east port side window. You watch and wait, their hands banging on the glass from within, and wild-eyed face. You dispatch a boarding party. They retrieve a survivor who's eager to sign on. She proves to be a hard worker, however, her reckless laughter and their stories of the horrid haunting things she saw from her frosty window do not improve morale. Yeah, sounds about right. What's over here? There's a port over here. Is this going to be... It's gonna be Trader's Wood, ain't it? Magdalenes is actually where I want to be. Also, that was a level up. I have a skill point to spend now. There's a dock captain. The signal declares the crew are relieved at the thought of solid land. Check this out, Magdalenes. House of Small Comforts. Magdalenes is close to things many skyfarers have to a home. It offers services to alleviate the strain of a life spent too close to the stars. Let's do this one. Magdalenes House of Small Comfort. Glass spires of Magdalenes pierce the clouds like swords. Shadowed figures can be seen moving through the gleaming corridors, their identities obscured by the hued glass. Crowds of skyfarers, ministry officials, and merchants mill around the forecourt in various degree of distress. all watch the clock set in the great clock tower, waiting for their appointed hour. The staff of Magdalenes promise treatments for the delirious effects of the high wilderness: loneliness, desperation, folly, regret, and love. Ooh. Attendant in the foyer schedules appointments with the aid of a hefty daybook and a very accurate clock. They're eager to explain the procedures and the rules that govern here. This is a hospital for the spirit. Our staff will become the person you need. Here you may say farewell to a doomed comrade, resurrect an old love, spar with a defeated enemy, all for a fair price, but do not overindulge. Our services are to heal, not to become an addiction. That's actually a good introduction. No, this is what I was talking about earlier. Report. Magdalenes is proper destination. Someone will no doubt be interested in how things are here and who has been seen here. Magdalenes is abuzz with activity. Barely has the clock chimed and the clamor goes up in the front desk. Guests rushing in and out from appointments. Lord Blank was seen in conversation with the amendable host. The East Wing was closed for a general access all day. A certain distinguished admiral was seen with his second in command entering one of the chambers of regret. Several guests are succumbed to an excess of sentimentality and were forced to be removed. Yeah, but the patients being discharged. They exhibit treatment chambers fresh from their encounters with attendants in the guise of their most personal memories. I know, I didn't read the last one. A poet staggers to the doors, clutching a sack of wine. An attendant studies him while eyeing her colleague meaningfully. A mark has been added to a name on a record book, so you probably can't come back. She can meet in. Sure. Unfortunately, the host has many calls on their time, and have yet to become a known face around these. And you have yet to become a known face around these parts. Perhaps once you have availed yourself of the services, they will have time to speak. Treat you terror. Oh. I cannot do that. I can read it though. Skies are full of terrible wonders. All skyfarers see more than they should when they sail the sunless sky. The sound of soft laughter and the occasional sob echo through the stained glass walls of the treatment chambers. An attendant sits guard before the door. I'll just need to ask for your particulars. We will always alleviate your fears, but the method is at your discretion. I can't do it, but what will you? For some cases of sleepless nights lost in the formless terror of persistent night terrors and illicit dreams, the more severe treatments are required. In these somber chambers of red and gold painted glass, the worst failings of the heart are treated. An attendant waits to take your details and your payment. He asks only that you request your name on the person you wish to treat you. Your mother or the queen. That's all I can do here for right now. Let's get my level up out of the way too. So, I can take a facet. And that lets me do this. Your facets, like some basic ones like this, and this, and this are like, they aren't unique. I can get these anywhere, but this one's unique to the class that I picked, which was the urchin. A week before your 13th birthday, when you would be driven from the urchin gang, you took part in Darren Heist, which scored an unusual haul. A condemned experiment. Or a cryptic benefactor. Salon's cats, you burgled one of the grand Lugaloo mansions of old London in a hidden attic accessed by the stair concealed by the back of your Rolls-Royce wardrobe. You made the discovery of a forbidden laboratory or a trove of disgraceful secrets. Yeah, I'll take the laboratory. Ideally, I don't actually want either of them, but hey, that works there. See what we've got. They were so extensive that the whole chest is in the verge of collapsing. 60%? I'll just mourn them this now. Simple ceremony, doffel caps, a few words, a gloomy silence, but it helps. The only decency in the service is what we bring ourselves. Oh, fucking fantastic. And there's a Skyman in Adventure too. No, those are both Marauders, I think. That's a Skyman in Adventure. Oh, no. That's bad. Crazy fuckers. Yeah, they like to do that a lot. They like to just ram into shit all the time. It's actually kind of funny. I've seen them die like that too. They were smoking, they just ram into a fucking wall and just fucking blow the fuck up. So good. The burial wads are lush and green. Fronds hang from the curtains, leaves low fat as giant stunks. Yeah. Nah, they are fighting. I don't want to get in between this. This is a battleground. Especially since I haven't picked a side yet. That was my last bit of food too. These are runes, I think. Or corpses. That works too. You got any food, bud? I can stripper for repairs. They're free. Yeah. I'll take the free haul, and every time, man, you know that's not even supposed to have a high spawn rate. This spawn stuff, I've had it where I've spawned like one or two things like the entire time. This time I've just gotten unlucky and I've gotten shitty. I've spawned the ship every damn time I've looted something. All right, we gotta get the hell back to New Winchester and go get some supplies, or else we are fucked. That's just early game, though. Once we get better hull, better supplies, better crew, etc., we'll be good. It also means we can't use the bat. Because the bat takes supplies in this one. Which sucks dick, honestly. Really does suck dick. so much. Excuse me, Captain. The woman pushes through the crowds towards you. She's short and square shoulders in a neat black suit and polished shoes. She shows you a case of her pocket watches embossed with the crown and hourglass of London's Horological office and body responsible for ensuring time is consistent across the empire. I'm hoping the book passage to Port Prosper, she says, slipping the watch away. Of course, I can pay. Or I can, of course, pay. Yes, get the fuck on here. I need money. Thank you. The locomotive of Avon broke down following a boiler rupture. The chief engineer's fault. I suspect the gentleman founder of brandy, then of diligence here and initial sum to seal our bargain. Money. West, southwest. Belts left. There's such a thing as north, east, southeast, or indeed west out there. Instead, London cartographers picked 4 of the brighter, more reliable stars visible from the Empress's new palace and named they renamed the fucking stars, man. Ugh. A lot of things. Pretty much everything wants to kill you, in fact. Polymer and plenty Circus. The cluster of islands lie in mist, strings abundant flutter optimistically between them. Fantastic. I will briefly dock here at the Circus. Hell yeah. Gervais rest. The traveling circus has settled here, too afraid to go further and too afraid to turn back. Its clanking, gaudy locomotive scavenges such audience as it can from nearby homesteads and delivers them an evening of shabby, desperate, big top magic. Oh, hey, the vagabonds here. Do I get them for free? Nope. You find him when serenely at Gervais' rest, clay pipe clamped between his teeth. He claims to be an expert, snake wrangling, thimble twisted, and stick swinging. He professes to be a psychologist, mythologist, and escapologist. He boasts he can tell stories that'll haunt you until the day you die. Haunt you until you die, and play tunes that'll make stones dance. And if all fails to entice you, he supposes he can turn his hand to signaling. I love the descriptions they have in this fucking game, man. It's so good. The greatest show. That's what the adverts promise. The reality is not impressive. Aside from the big top that dominates the circus, this place is shabby, poorly maintained, and even more poorly attended. Poor-looking circus floats, rotted booths, clans painted on smiles are no match for the deep-set misery behind the grease paint. Even the calliope music playing on a rundown piano is more grimly resolute than cheery. I will write a port report, but I don't want to do this. This will be its own episode, probably. Big Lock tunes dramatically in the fog of the reach, but it's not nearly as imposing as the massive obelisk floating nearby. Some Enterprise and Solus hung bunting between it and the big top. As for Circus itself, outside the performers, is practically deserted. You may be the first new face in the audience in quite a while. Fantastic. Oh. Alright. Head back out. This is in this game, it's less about not taking any risks. It's more about which is the lowest risk and which has the highest reward. That's what you should really think about. What actions will you take that will fuck you over more than they wouldn't? The fastidious inspector approaches you in the galley. Captain, good day. I notice your ship's clock says stop. Perhaps you permit me to repair it. She has a little case of tools and a hopeful expression. Yeah, sure. She gives a gleeful flicker of a smile and sets to work. Soon she has in the back of her clock and back off the clock and has spread tiny cogs across the gallery table. Obscure horological tools gleaming brashly among them. Everything has its place. I appreciate the opportunity to keep myself busy. Staring too long at the stars is harmful for the temperament. The inspector has a round face, brown eyes, and short, dark hair. She gives the impression of being always busy. Inquire about her work. What are the duties of an agent of the Horological office? She sniffs. It is of fundamental importance that 10 o'clock on the 2nd of June in one corner of the Empire occurs at the same time as 10 o'clock on the 2nd of June in the opposite corner. How is the Empire to function if it can't agree what day it is? No, I agree. Fortunately, the process is complicated by the fact that time is less reliable than it was. Our trade seems to have seen that. Ask her about the hour. Oh, News of London, actually. seat of the Empire lies in far-off Albion, where a man-made sun burns the sky. Another sun blazed there once before her renowned majesty conquered it. Homesickness. London lies in her cut smog. Courtiers squabble at the foot of the throne of ours, hoping to receive endowments of years. Meanwhile, houseworkers and civil servants labor to ensure everything runs as it should. Was there a touch of harshness there? All is normal, and I miss her, though. There is no city like London in all the skies, and Albion is very different from the Reach, much more civilized. Yes, it is. Discuss the Reach, the wild frontier, the sunless domain, but impossibly overdone with gargantuan vines, cathedral-sized broadwoods, and living fungal archipelagos. As an uncouth splendor by Miss Albion in the steady light of the clockwork sun, these sunless reaches are so misty distant, she pauses, but critical. The territories here are rich with raw hours, and enough vegetation grows on them to feed a whole of London, even if some of it is in dubious shape. You've heard that the Empress awards her favorites with gifts of years to extend their lives, and that you can become rich money for hours to satisfy London's hunger for them. Yeah. Oh, hours. Ours have more use than that. We use them to increase the efficiency of work while to speed journeys to distant regions to resolve overcrowded prisons. It does make my life more difficult when the time knots and stretches like wool on the loom, more difficult but more vital. Her Majesty sees a great trove of them when she assumed the throne of ours, and now more have been found in the Reach. Miners digging them from the ground. She looks momentarily wistful. Someday. I hope someday to require with a modest pension of years myself to belong to the better part of my retirement. That's fair. Winchester War reaches torn by discontent between London loyalists and the more independent settlers. Yeah, that's what the tackies are, I think. There are those who feel that London is a very long way away, and they do a better job governing themselves. The frontier attracts independent spirits. We call them tackies for the hobnob booths that are so practical out there. London, unsurprisingly, disagrees. The Windward Company earnestly represents Her Majesty's interest in the region, sometimes very earnestly indeed. The tackies call London's loyalist stovepipes for hats, I suppose. She avoids looking at you, and you, Captain, where do you simply please lie? I have to say this. Perhaps you'd rather be left alone. Perhaps you're undecided. Perhaps you've seen the conflict as an opportunity. I don't agree with either side right now. Remarkable indulgence. She remarks with a raised eyebrow. Sorry. That's the truth. I'm not gonna lie to you. Following her skill, she hands her deft and sure. She polishes, she cleans, she reassembles. Thank you, she says. A small embarrassed silence. Also, the inspectors, please, it's rather hard to tell. Alright, you've got work to do. Better good evening. Goodbye. It's you, Captain. I shall make a cup of tea. I think I should make a cup of tea. Yes, indeed. It's quite London-esque of you. Oh, fantastic. Skyfarers exposed to hunt and light of the stars are prone to sudden obsessions and erratic behavior. You discover a stoker angrily defaces the engine's Bible. He claims that here in the heavens there are more important gods than that of King James. Immediately he launches in a sermon about the world below, the Worm Mother, General Prodded, the tricks of the Devourer of Days, who are called the Aging. She tunneled the paths across the sky. Every transit is a trespass. We must give praise. I don't have the money for this. You gotta go back to, I guess he's confined. No good to you in this state. You confine them to the quarters and resolve to discharge them at the next port. With the atmosphere of war subdued for a time, but it is understood that these things can happen in the sky. The heavens price, they call it. Yep. It's normal. It was also normal in the Undersea for people to lose their minds as well. True, they come and go. It's just the unfortunate nature of things. Alright, we're at Port Prosper. Crammed at the feet of Hulk and Craig, Port Prosper is a little London divided into an affluent West End and a shitty East End. King's Cross is a busy station crowded with engines that have arrived through the nearby transit relay from Albion. This deliverer, she disembarks with her bag in hand and peers up the clock tower that is being raised above the station. Is tangled scaffolding and rings of the sound that, like hammering cries of workmen. Accept your payment. She will fucking leave. Thank you, Captain. Here's a balance of our agreement, and as promised, our question order for fuel and supply. She casts another glance at the incomplete clock tower. Given the apparent state of construction, I recommend you visit the worksite. There may be an opportunity there. And thank you for the pleasant conversation, Captain. The sky can be a lovely place. You've enlivened it, and I have included a small additional sum to your remuneration as a token of my gratitude. Thank you. Sometimes talking to people can also do bad things, though. Just saying. Perhaps you can secure it. What do you need? They plan to call it the Albion clock in memory of the departed prince consort. Yay. But there is a way to go, yet the roof isn't finished and the clock neither ticks nor bongs. You can see the inspector up among the workings with a spanner and a can of oil, showing the workmen how it's done. Bronzewood, the foreman wheezes bluntly. One consignment to sell at Traders Woods in the Circus. I hear in the gore cluster of Necker too. This bunch of work Shay integrates need constant shown at, and my voice has given up the ghost. Some nectar should have me bellowing again like a champion. Carlin's your best bet there, or Titania, the flower town, will pay. Like. Okay. There are streets huddled in the shadowy Great Crag. The banners display the stony features of Her Majesty. Wealthy West Enders strut by, exchanging polite greetings and veiled gossip. Hello there, sir. While sooty East Enders workers file into the hours refinement factories. I'm guessing they're more quiet. Feeling posters promise fresh, wholesome lives in their reach to no arrivals, but most of the posters are years old. More newcomers arrive at Port Prosper than ever leave it. I will write a port report. The factories continue to belch out smokes. Well over the bridge, hopeful crowds gather outside the Admiral Nelson. Lovers can be seen stroller arm in arm along the promenade. At a respectable distance from their chaperones, there was a brief protest outside the Windward Company factory, swiftly quelled. The scones at the Nelson were as good as ever, and the piquancy of the jam was less than ever to be desired. Yeah, so locations also change, depending on what's going on. Oh. Huh. Both of them, huh? I don't know if I can afford them both. Especially not her, she's expensive. Her quest line's pretty good, though. Fine. I specialize in test driving, but I'm looking for someone quieter. The driver indicates a crashed engine, still smoking like that without the screaming. The driver boards, eager to start. I recently parted ways with the Windward Company. They explained, personally, I think a crash a week isn't so bad. They disagreed. Oh, well, live and let learn. The great level up. Yeah. New facet. Scandal. Below stairs. Interlude. Lost love. Actually, this one. Love, the gradual erosion of which separates you from someone else. They're fitting together of two lives as intricately and intimately as the threads of the tapestry or the cells on your skin, and when one of those lives ends, what remains of the other? You loved, you lost, how badly does it hurt now? Like a gnawing ache, a hole in the heart, or like a fresh wound as red as it was then? Personal experience? This one. Alright, let's check this fucking thing out too. This is the Albion transit relay. This is how we get to Albion. A stowed edifice, gallant with signals encased in a contrivance of steel and brass. This is the Sing Jerkins relay, allowing transport via loophole in some cosmic mandate across the sunless waste to a far-flung district of heaven. This one leads to Albion, the whole of the new British Empire, and the seat of Her Majesty Queen Victoria. However, I must remain in the Reach. Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, that one was pretty simple, huh? You mine was, if I remember correctly, I pissed off Mount Nomad in one of the, not the first one. It wasn't the Little Nipper. It was one of the early vessels, but it wasn't the first one. It was like the one that you get like 200 health. No. You're not where you thought you were. The sky is wrong. This is not where you're meant to be. This trick at the miss has a wind carried you astray. Have the heavens themselves turned on your axis. So I can either I either lose half my fuel or I lose a bunch of terror. Forward. Of course. The mist is soft in the windows, the stars have gone awry, you crawl onwards, there is an outbreak of violent star madness among the crew. In time you find your way back to the stretched sky you can locate in your chart. Your journey continues. I lost 2 crew. Okay. Well, that is unfortunate, but I have been forced to go back to New Winchester. Oh, that sucks. Because I need crew, and I need my terror to go down. Well, it might not even help. Usually when you first dock at something. No, come on! It's Lear, and you are alone. Doubts prey on you. Is this the path you should have taken? You trespass upon the presence of heaven. What is the price that we extract of you? What price have you already paid? Endure this lean, cruel hour. It will pass. Your doubts are hungry tonight. They seize on your past. Decisions are laid by one. We're in at each like wolves at the lamb. Sleep is impossible. When your shift arrives, you arise haggard and unrested. You splash water in your face and wonder what mistakes you will make today. Sounds about right. So because I have high terror, it gives me more events to get high terror. That's just how the game works. Frosty Fingerprints. Do the undermen in one of your crew cabin sites is empty, but a story has taken root among the crew that something sleeps there on nights when the wind howls, something that leaves frost in the bed sheets. Some of the crew have begun raiding the pantries to leave bowls of food outside the cabin door. Your cook complains. Oh, that's not a good idea. Whatever, let them have their superstitions. Flies continue to vanish from the pantry, bowls continue to pile up outside the cabin. Periodically, the food disappears. The crew are less fearful now. Occasionally, one of them refers proudly to their special passenger. Now the waif is watching me. That's one of the gods of the high wilderness. Just like the Reach had Storm, Salt, and Stone. I always forget the last one. This game has the Burrower below, the Waste Waif, and I forget what the third one is, but there is a third one. Oh, and there's also literally Death. But he's like a side character, you know? He just doesn't show up as much. Ooh, Mr. Menagerie. Let's go see what he's got. Our poster above the station advertises services of a mission menagerie, purveyor of fine skeleton and company. Picture displays a tall, cloaked figure, slightly stooped, clutching an array of adorable little beasts close to its chest. A pile of cages looms out of the smog. Yes, this is where you get better scouts. I can get a... Holy crap, I can get a Ratronaut this early? Oh, I can't even use any of this, so it doesn't matter. Mr. Menagerie nods its head, and you're moving elsewhere soon, but I will leave a note saying where we have gone. We will find more things to show and stories to tell. It turns away, humming an eerie tune to itself as it gathers up its things for the next leg of the journey. Fantastic, I guess. Let's go get some fucking crew. They're all bloody dead. Or the 6. Oh. 40. Okay, whatever. There's a buzz of chatter as a new crew board your engine. A brief scuffle over the berths is swiftly resolved. I got lucky that time and I got 3. Sometimes it's just a roll of the dice. Winchester War is probably going as well as it always was. And like normal, we are fucking broke. Fantastic. Alright. Oh, okay. A little bit more exploration. Come on, forward. Where are we going next? We'll fuck with that eventually. For now, let's get our ass out here in the cold. Oh? I love it when there's shit that wants to kill me everywhere. Mountainous rocks clad in jackets of frost rides above you, yet the passes are perilous. Yeah. There's gonna be a bunch of crap trying to kill us here too. This stuff's gonna be a little bit above our level. There's nothing to be found. Shouldn't that make you less gleeful? You think going out for nothing would piss you off more than going out for something? It can still be random, but when you know where certain things are, it makes it easier to find out where other things are. At least to estimate. Stones of forgotten runes lie tumble across the sky. Yeah. Oh wait. Are we where I think we are? Is this gonna be Port Avon? There's cloud sky, the works of giants. Yes. Yeah, this is Port Avon. Good, good. I was actually wondering when we find this one too. New port, Port Avon. Alright. Behold, a rune of giants, gargantuan blocks, jigsawed together, furrowed with moss and whispering with orchards. A bucolic village nestles among them, smoke coils daintily from the chimneys, a leisurely game of cricket unfolds on the village green. Disembark. A ramshackle dock juts into the sky beside a farmyard, scattered there with rusty locomotive parts, played in, pipe in, a chugging motor with its innards exposed. An oily-faced, black-haired girl waits to your locomotive into position. Welcome to Port Avon, she calls as you disembark. A rich knot of scents greets you, leaves and wood smoke, enriched by infrequent but pungent intrusion of gum. Port Avon welcomes new visitors, but your novelty will wear off the more you spend there. When you visit in the future, you may need to bring something to keep them friendly. Yeah. Port Avon spills prettily across the sections of colossal drifting ruins, its orchards bask in evening gold light of distant nebula. The locals are willing to update you on news. There's not much to share. Were it not for the talks of smugglers and sky beasts, you could easily confuse this place for a village and a world you left behind. It's quite peaceful here, apart from some fuss over a newspaper delivery. The villagers frown and change the subjects when you ask about it. Again, there's nothing really I can do here. Oh, not yet, anyways. I can buy verdant seeds, though, apparently. Well, I could have if I had money. So, Port Avon is a bucolic village nestled within the gloom-free human ruins. The dock is a little more than a farmyard. Port Avon's inhabitants quickly tire of visitors, but you may be able to find ways to increase your welcome here before you venture the village property. Along the village green, a golden nebula silhouettes above Port Avon's apple trees, allotment, eel fishers, and steepled church. Here you may, if you choose, immerse yourself in the village's quaint rhythms. Yeah, there's a few side quests for this too. Author's A Tour of Heaven describes Port Avon's single public house as a welcome respite, justly famed off its authentic old earth cider. The locals can be welcoming for a while. You may be able to recruit more crew here. And the ruins. The Cyclopean ruins. What place is this? What giant king made its home here? Why do you abandon this vast shores of souls that the locals still quarry from beneath the stones? Perhaps you might risk a further excavation of your own. That will go a different time. Oh, fantastic. Okay. I wish you told me that first. Scout relays its findings. Alright, we gotta get the hell out of here. That's unfortunate. He's a little bit dumbstruck though, so he's gonna like do his own thing for a minute. Which is why I will get away. I have left. Magdelenes theme too. Welcome home. Welcome home to New Winchester, the home in the Reach. You love seeing the lights of London, you love seeing the lights of New Winchester. I know I do. I know I really do. And if you like my content, you can become a little goober today on my Patreon, $3 a month. It's purely to support me. I won't ask you to, but I'm just saying it is an option. Thanks for watching.